Hello everyone, and welcome once again to Scorpion Cigar Reviews. Today I will be reviewing Joya De Nicaragua Antano. I'm not getting a whole lot off the wrapper now. Once again, that may be because I'm outdoors and there's a little bit of a breeze, so I'm getting on the foot. There we go, that's nice. Fine Italian leather, cedar, kitchen spices, hint of white pepper, something meaty, almost like stew meaty type of. Some other things in there. Well, a lot going on that foot. Could only imagine that there's more going on the wrapper, but I'm just not picking it up with the breeze. Very firm pack. Nice chocolate brown color. Now today, I think I'll use, probably go with a V cutter today. What did I say? Just a minute. I put it just out of reach here because I'm an idiot. There we go. So, I wasn't sure what I was going to do today, so I have one of these dual purpose cutters. It's both a V cutter and a guillotine cutter. But I will use the V cut, I believe. That draws pretty snug. Got a blast right down to the rear of the pallet there. Very tasty. Once again, it's got some general kitchen spices, almost like a chili powder mix. It's got some leather in there, a little bit of white pepper. Oh, that's a very tasty pre-draw. I'm not sure if I should go ahead and open this up just yet or not. Maybe what I'll do is I'll go and I'll light up and see if it opens up on its own, and if not, I can always clip a little more off the end there. So, using a triple flame torch lighter. Boy, that is a tight draw. My goodness. Well, we'll give it a few minutes. It's in my pocket here. I can find it. There it is. That is a really, really tight draw. Almost sucking in my eardrums there. So I'll give it just a moment or so, and I have the feeling I'm going to have to cut some more off. I don't know how much good that'll do because this is a really firm pack. You hear all those birds? One I'm not quite familiar with. Not quite the screech of an eagle. I wonder if it's that hawk. Maybe it's the hawk that I've seen flying around. Anywho. No, anywho would be an owl. I'm an idiot. Alright, I got that initial blast of pepper. Something else going on there. I tell you, this tight draw is really taking my attention away from the flavors I'm picking out. definitely something else in there. Maybe not necessarily a black pepper, maybe, well, there is an underlying black pepper, but there's something else there. Not, I don't know, maybe red chili? No, but it's something along those lines, something vegetal in character. Alright, well, I'll let this heat up a little bit, give it a few minutes. I'll probably end up clipping some more off, and I'll be back somewhere in the first third. I'm pairing today's cigar with Jim Beam Single Barrel Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. This is 95 proof, 47.5% alcohol by volume. Comes in an attractive bottle. And it says right on the, there are these hand-numbered labels. And the pre-printed portion says, the unapologetic and independent spirit made for those who take their bourbon seriously. And then it says barrel number, and then handwritten 4-199, and then bottled on, handwritten 3/02/14. So this was just about 2 months ago. Today is May the 1st, so just about 2 months ago this was bottled, and it has our little spiel on the back about only you know, blah blah blah, less than 1% of their barrels are selected, qualify for their hand selected Jim Beam single barrel, blah 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 blah. Okay, so now I chose this whiskey because Mark Gillespie from Whiskey Cast gave it a good review. He gave some tasting notes that I thought I would enjoy, and he scored it, I believe it was a 92, I believe he scored it, maybe 93, I think it was 92. But I don't always go by you know, scores, because they're relative and that type of thing. So, you know, but the tasting notes is what really got me. It sounded really good. So I've poured myself a wee dram. Oh, it smells marvelous, absolutely marvelous. Buttery, oaky, hint of vanilla, a little bit of spice in there. What is that? Maybe is that nutmeg I'm picking up? Maybe. Now this is straight. I have not added any water at this point. Now being 95 proof, I will add some water. Smells fantastic. It tastes very bourbony. But it goes beyond the bourbon. Kind of reminds me of drinking a Manhattan, which is, you know, has whiskey in it, but I'm picking up some of the other characteristics that you'd pick up in a Manhattan. Picking up the oak. The moment that's the main character is the bourbon quality or character and the oak. Very good. I'm gonna let that sit a little bit. I'll come back to it in a few minutes. I'll probably end up adding some more water, but I'll let it sit for a little while longer. In the meantime, let's get back to the cigar review. Here we are. Oh, I didn't look at the time when I first lit the cigar, but it's more than 10, not quite 15 minutes, because I looked at it a little while into it, so it's at least 10 minutes, but not 15. Anywho, as I mentioned, the draw was really tight. So I took my really inexpensive dual-purpose cutter, and I went to the guillotine. And as I'm looking at this guillotine, and I'm placing the cigar in there, I'm thinking, this is going to end badly. And it did. However, it's not a total loss. It did open up the draw quite a bit, so I'm happy with that. However, it damaged the cap a little bit, but it seems to be holding. It cracked the wrapper and a small portion of the binder just right at the very tip, but it seems to be holding together okay, so we'll continue on. Hopefully it won't be a real big issue. As I mentioned, it opened up the draw, but it seems to be tightening up on me again. I did have to correct the burn, and I may have to do some more touch-ups to this between the burn and opening up, cutting some more off the cap. Just trying to get this to open up some more. Getting some mild, not quite a black pepper, a little more mild than a black pepper, and it's a little more subtle. I'm getting a very slight hint of leather in there. A little bit of mineral, and there's a little more creamy something going on. I haven't quite pinpointed what it is yet. So I'll nurse this cap, maybe tinker with the burn, and we'll see what happens. I'll come back somewhere in the second third. And what of the whiskey? I've added about a half a teaspoon of water, not quite a half a teaspoon. Still has that oaky character, a little bit of vanilla. Still very bourbon-esque. Picking up a little bit of spice. Something along the lines of nutmeg, something like that, in the taste. It's a drier bourbon. Typically, I find a lot of the American whiskeys, the bourbons, tend to be a little on the sweeter side. But this is one of the drier bourbons. Definitely has that oak. A little bit of vanilla. The nutmeg. Long finish of oak. Very long finish. And right on the end, that nutmeg starts to really kick in a little bit, and it leaves almost a real mild clove feel. That kind of cool, creamy feel that cloves leave in your mouth. Slight taste of clove. And that oaky vanilla starting to come back forward again on the finish. Way at the end. Very long finish. I picked this Jim Beam single barrel up at my local ABC store. 750 milliliter bottle was, I think it was $31 and some change, something like that. I think after tax I paid, I don't know, $33 or $34, whatever it was, something like that. Low 30s. Good value. Let's get back to the cigar review. Here we are, a solid 30 minutes in. I did touch it up once, and as far as where the cap had split a little bit after I had reclipped it, you can see it's kind of like a loose tooth there hanging off, and as I draw on it, I can feel it kind of flapping around in there. So I'm not sure how well it's going to hold on. I'll give it a while and see what I decide to do with it, but The draws opened up a little bit as the cigar warmed up and became a little softer. I was able to kind of knead it back and forth, but I found that didn't really help out a whole lot. The draw is still snugger than I like, but I don't know if I necessarily want to cut it any more off. The burn's been pretty uneven. I tapped off the ash, it was loose and flaky, and although it took a little bit of effort to get it off, I didn't want to wear it. So slight bit of meatiness in there, like a grilled meat. A little bit of earthy mineral. Very subtle hint of leather. Very subtle. If you didn't know that it was there earlier on, you probably wouldn't pick it out now. I'm looking for that leather. And that's the only way that I find it. Smoke's dry, leaving my mouth very dry. And of course the drier bourbon is contributing to that. If it had been a sweeter bourbon, maybe the smoke would not seem quite so dry. It would help to balance that out. Pleasant cigar. Alright, I'll continue smoking this on as the sun starts to set and it starts to cool off out here. I'll come back somewhere in the final third. I smoked this big sucker here. Yeah. Just kidding. It's a log. Saw it sitting there and I thought it looked like a giant cigar. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot! Here we are about 50 minutes in. I did have to touch the cigar up once again for the wonky burn where the cap has started to come apart. It's continuing to progress, but still smokable. It's got a nice thick wrapper on it. And the binder seems to be holding just fine. So I haven't had to do much to that yet. We'll see what happens. So here we are in the final third. A little bit of mild pepper in there still. Picked up some more of that grilled meat. Earthy minerals. Spicy, peppery retrohale there. Draw is still kind of snug. Burn is once again becoming wonky. It's a little bit windy out. That may have some effect on what's going on with the burn. But that's what it is. It's not a whole lot of changes going on to this point. It's up to this point. It's been mild pepper, a little bit of grilled meat in there. If you really look for it, you can find a subtle hint of leather, some spicy, earthy minerals. That's pretty much what I've been picking up from the very beginning. I'll continue this on. I'll smoke it up to about the band, remove the band, then I'll come back with an update in the nub. Here we are about an hour and 15 minutes in. I'm in the nub. The cigar had gone out. So I cleaned off the ash, removed the label, relit it. Did one of Doc Diaz's flambe purge to expel any nasty gases that get built up. Picking up a little bit of meatiness. The main flavor is like a earthy mineral, a hint of underlying pepper, that's about it. No real changes. I'll go ahead and end this review here, saying that the Joya De Nicaragua 1970 Antano, this was a torpedo. I don't remember the sizes, the dimensions exactly. It was something along the lines of a 6x52 ring, I believe it was. Had a little trouble with the cap, tight burn. Tight draw, I mean. Uneven burn. Needed constant touch-ups. Went out. Not a whole lot of changes as the cigar progressed. Who would I recommend this cigar to? I guess anybody that likes a medium plus body, medium strength, medium minus flavor profile. This is one of those cigars that you have to really pay attention to because of the burn issues, and as I mentioned with the cap, it came unraveled probably 80% of the way around, and I was able to wrap it back around, but it's just one of those things you have to really pay attention to. You have to kind of doctor it the whole way. Paired nicely with the Jim Beam single barrel bourbon whiskey. So that's about it. So I thank you for once again watching Scorpion Cigar Reviews. Catch you next time.